supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to expose Candace Owens as an intellectual ghetto gagger, or an attention whore slash intellectual ghetto gagger, because I believe she's really an attention whore, but she just got desperate to the point of becoming an intellectual ghetto gagger. Why would I call her that? I believe that this beautiful black woman is intellectual, very smart, very intelligent, without question. But I think that she has exploited her own intelligence for the attention of the masses of people and for validation by her slave master. She seeks validation from the white man, and most of her opinions are more geared towards the validation of white conservatives and Republicans. She makes arguments. She uses her intellectual capability, which I think is above average, to argue for white supremacists, white conservatives, Republicans, for the right. She has found an intellectual justification for cooning. She's the most intellectual coon of the century. She does gymnastics to back idiotic ideas that cater to Republican, conservative, white supremacist ideology. This is a fact. She is the white supremacist go-to black woman, the intellectual mammy slave. They go to her to justify their most ridiculous racist ideas. They can go right to her. They can call her up. Now, say she was authentically a Republican. Say she was just authentically not a Democrat. She's just taking advantage of her political freedom to associate with any party she wants and any ideas that she wants. Just say that's authentic, which I do not believe. I don't believe she is authentically a Republican, because you can't authentically, being an intellectual, really just fit particularly in any box. Just because it's a counter box, or it's another box, Republican versus Democrat. I think if you was that smart, you would be smart enough to see through all that bullshit. So I don't believe that she's authentically a Republican. I believe if she was authentic, she would have created her own party, if she that damn deep. However, just say she was. Say I'm wrong and she really had some Republican views and felt like it was a little bit more well thought out to be a Republican. For her not to realize that she is being utilized by white supremacists. She's being utilized by the media to go against her own race, her own leaders, to back statistics that are more geared towards white conservative, white supremacist ideas. If she can't see that she's literally being used, then she would have to be dumb as fuck, or she would have to be intentionally an intellectual ghetto gagger, meaning that she's intentionally allowing these white people to take advantage of her, to sit on their couches and their chairs and do these intellectual nasty ass tricks with her mind to argue these white conservative, white supremacist talking points. She would have to be an intellectual ghetto gagger. She would have to be. Because you know that they are using you. Even if you really are a Republican, to sit on the white in front of these devils and let them use you like that, you know that they're manipulating your counter arguments to back their white supremacist conservative ideology. If you cannot see that, you are either dumb as fuck, Candace Owens, or you are an intellectual ghetto gagger. Now, why do I say ghetto gagger? Because ghetto gaggers are these black women that allow themselves in these videos with these white supremacist white males to do whatever sick, disgusting, fetish, condescending, desecrating sexual act that could possibly be imagined. That they use these black women to do that, and these black women go along with it. They allow them to be their race, their nation, their ethnicity to be desecrated in front of the entire race, under the auspices of the edification of white manhood or white males. This is what ghetto gaggers do. They have no problem allowing themselves to be exploited to the white man's sickest, most wildest sex fetishes and imaginations, and allow that to be broadcasted before the public to see these acts. This is what Candace Owens is doing intellectually. She's taking the same type of white man who doesn't have a sexual fetish, but has wild intellectual conservative fantasies. Ideas that he's attached to. He has certain ideas that desecrate and condescend the black community. Because she has a condescending attitude towards black Democrats and liberals and people that are in support of black people to some capacity. She has the most condescending attitude. But she sits there with white people and allow herself to be intellectually exploited like a lapdog or coon, doing intellectual circus acts to back totally idiotic Republican and conservative ideas that are pretty much white supremacists at their basis. She cannot see that they're calling her there to be exploited and to be utilized against her people. It's not just a fellow Republican. We found a Negro that we could utilize as the spokeswoman for white supremacy. We found a Negro that we can use as a token Negro. Look, we found us one. She's not smart enough to see that. Recently, she has come out about the Me Too movement to show how intellectual she is. This is to show how smart this black woman is, and how much of a true feminist Candace Owens is. I mean, a lot of people to me are fake feminists. It's just their feminism is just a victim narrative consciousness, and it's a hatred of men consciousness. Candace Owens is a true fucking black feminist. Unquestionably. She went against the Me Too movement, talking about women know that if they go into a man's hotel room, that they have a possibility of having sex. They saying that women who are being protected or defended under the auspices of sexual harassment or sexual assault are made to look stupid, as if they don't know what's going on, not to go to somebody's hotel at night, or that sex could potentially happen. She's basically saying the Me Too movement is some bullshit, that these women are more conscious, more intelligent, and should be more responsible for what happens to them. So that shows that she's smart. She's really making arguments against the victim consciousness that the Me Too movement is promoting. So she understands that. She's basically saying that it's very difficult to exploit these intelligent black women in these situations where they're claiming that they're being sexually assaulted and harassed. Like, she's saying women are just too smart to get caught up into that women know better, and that these people that are trying to stand up for women's rights and respect for women when it comes to sexual harassment, that they're just making women look stupid. They're making women look like idiots, and she's basically going against that. So she's showing that she's smart, but if you go and apply that same thinking, is she smart enough to know that she is being exploited by these white Republican in social media, these interviewers and these white intellectuals? Does she know she is being exploited by them for their agenda as a black woman and as a person of a member of the black race? Does she know she is being used for their sick agenda to make black people look bad and stupid and criminal? Does she know that black people who have been Democrats all this time, she's making them look stupid? When it was so-called Democrats that stood up basically for civil rights, so she can even open her fucking mouth. But that's a whole nother video. I had to go in on that. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. She's basically an intellectual ghetto gagger, being used and exploited by white people, you know, to make their point, and to say, how could we possibly be racist with these racist conservative ideas when we got Candace Owens agreeing with us and making our point? It's KingNoble Black Supremacy signing out.